So from the sounds of things, we've got China pursuing very aggressively into Nigeria's oil sector. What if stakeholders in the industry actually made of this news and the possibility of a deal like this being struck?
I think, thanks for inviting me. I think I have heard comments in the last, there's been a torrent of comments, both from the indigenous as well as the international oil companies. The initial reception is not very good. Essentially, a lot of this is coming to people out of the blue. They're not sure what the deal is. They've heard what the FT has said and other commentators, but news are still, flowing in, and there is uncertainty at the moment, but there is concern about transparency and quite a few other things that may follow on if this deal does become a reality. One
of the major concerns amongst Western groups who are already operating in the oil space in Nigeria is that they may be forced to relinquish their stakes. Of course, this should have legal implications. So just how much of a concern is this in your books?
I think that there's a lot of concern. Essentially, what this deal would probably do is to achieve within the space of a couple of months what the kind of assets that the IOCs, the Western IOCs, have built up over the last 50 years. I reckon that there will be court cases. We've already heard about Shell having gone to court. I believe that the others will follow suit, and I can just imagine the kind of money that will be made by lawyers in all of this. But I do also believe that the Nigerian government is also trying to, negotiate a deal, try to force the hands of the IOCs, those are the international oil companies, and trying to get a better deal for, I think, about 16 or 18 of the oil fields that have become, due.
To what degree should we be looking at this then as merely a clever tactic by the Nigerian government? Because already we saw ExxonMobil offering $78 million to renew 3 of its expiring licenses, and the government responded with a counter-offer of $2.5 billion.
I think somehow, somewhere in between there, we will get a good result. I think the Nigerian government feels that the Western IOCs have always undercut them, undercut the deals. They've always offered little amounts. China is hungry for this product, and they're willing to bid very high. But I think somewhere, I'm an optimist. I think that the Nigerian government and the IOCs would come out. The figures must be better than 78 million, clearly. But I don't see them being able to pay 2.5 billion or anything in that amount. There are relationships at stake here, long relationships, and these relationships are not just economic; they're also political. Nigeria is the 5th largest seller of petrol to the States. How's that going to happen? Is this all going to be diverted? Is a lot of this going to be diverted to China? There are political implications there, and I believe all parties will come to an agreement at some point.
Of course.
Certainly, I don't see the Nigerian government accepting $78 million.
Of course, as you highlighted, this goes beyond just commercial interests. We've got an industry that is looking to be overhauled by the Nigerian government at present. The petroleum bill still under revision. With all the uncertainty that plagues the sector right now, has the interest from foreign investors actually come as a surprise at all, given that there's so much uncertainty out there?
I think the Chinese have always been in the market for a while. I remember that Sinopec came in as far back as 2003, 2004. They've been busy buying assets, but I think the ADAX deal, which they recently concluded, Sinopec, was actually a landmark, and that showed that these guys are willing to be aggressive. And after all, the Nigerian government, the Chinese have only acquired about 5 billion of assets, of reserves in the market, in Angola, Sudan, in the last few years, in the last 10 years. A Nigerian success, let's say it happens, of about 6 billion would be significant. But it's the audacity, it's the numbers that we're talking about that has actually surprised everybody.